It's Craig.
It's Craig again. Welcome back, Craig. We just talked to Craig a few minutes ago.
Great. How
Craig.
are you doing?
I'm sure
He's now
Craig.
recording.
He's now recording. I'm sure Craig is doing well. All right. So, welcome back again.
No one knows what you're talking about.
I know. I do. And that's, you know what? That's okay. Only I need to know. We're going to cover rogue subclasses.
Let's do it.
Let's
dive in.
Roguish subclasses. Yes, let's just dive right in. No,
diving with the arcane trickster.
Arcane trickster. We can have
right.
BS time at the end.
Are you reading this time, or am I reading again?
I think you're the subclass reading guy.
Okay, but
you're the technical guy of the group.
So.
Oh yeah, you got like
still getting over the COVID. So
okay, yeah, you'll be all right. If you need me to read, I'll read. But you seem like our technical guy.
All right, arcane trickster. So at 3rd level, you get spellcasting. Cantrips you get are Mage Hand and 2 other cantrips of your choice from the wizard spell list. And then you learn another wizard cantrip of your choice at 10th level. Where is it? There's a specific thing. Here it is. So the Mage Hand you get, you can make the spectral hand invisible, and you can pick pockets and stow stuff and retrieve objects with it, which is why it's the coolest thing.
What an asshole.
But that's like the spellcasting, all that stuff is cool, but invisible Mage Hand that can pick pockets and pick locks is the coolest thing about this class, I think. Or about this subclass.
Yeah.
So you get that. Spell slots you get like it's a third the normal spell slots of a full caster.
You're like a little weenie caster who can stab people.
Yes.
And very, very deeply with your spectral blade.
You get to pick your spells from the wizard table.
Yeah.
And otherwise it's exactly the same as any other caster.
Never going above 4th level. Woof.
Yeah, you never get a spell
level
slot above
3 and Hagrid showed up.
You get the spells you can choose are a little restricted. So you get 3 spells of your choice from the wizard table. 2 of them have to be enchantment or illusion. So you get one that you get that's whatever, and the others are enchantment or illusion. And then like further on down as you level up, there's like I think at 7th and I don't know.
I feel like
there's a couple more. I think you get a maximum of like 3 spells that don't have to be enchantment or illusion.
It's all just like trying to keep this class from being like too much of a caster. Yeah. Because illusion, I feel like illusion spells are one of those things where I don't know about you guys, but me, I'm like, I was reading and I'm like, oh hell yeah, illusions. That'd be a cool thing to do. And then you're like, I'm gonna cast these illusions, and I've never had illusions work out the way they work in my head. I do an illusion to do this.
I cast an illusion.
You need more imaginative DMs, okay?
I cast an illusion that does this, and it's like
it's difficult to balance around illusions, right? Because it's like either this guy totally buys it and this encounter is therefore just completely neutered, or he doesn't buy it and your illusion is wasted. It's like there's very hard to get that in between where it's like, wait a minute, but they're already gone.
Yeah. Illusion magic. They need to like oh man, I don't know how you do that. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. You can't like
it's tough to balance
that. Yeah.
But anyway, your spell save DC is based on int, as well as your spell attack modifier based on intelligence. Yep. So that's basically that's it. So for the first you gain a 2nd level slot at level 7, you gain a 3rd level slot at level 13, and a 4th level slot at level 19.
Can you imagine? But that's you're like level 20 and you're like,
that's the big part is the caster table there.
Level 19, like sick. Level 4, dude.
So at level 9, if you are hidden from a creature when you cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on a saving throw. So it's kind of like
that's pretty good.
Kind of like an ambush thing. Like get advantage on your regular
Too
attack.
bad you can't ambush and be like, fireball!
I mean, you could, right?
Fireball's level 3. Yeah, you should be able to, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I'm wrong.
So you could do that, but I feel like having disadvantage on something like the half damage stuff, not as big a deal. It's more important on things like polymorph or banish, right?
What would be really sick is if you could pop up and be like, disintegrate, fire!
Disintegrate.
I mean, I think you could if you multi-class into this 9 levels and then the other 11 you go into a full caster. You could.
Yeah. Wait. Would you get this? Yeah, you'd get it. Yeah. Never mind.
Sounds like
a disintegrate by 11th level.
Hero campaign character to me.
You're absolutely right. That is a hero campaign character for sure. You pop out of the.
You just sneak around, popping up, going, well, bam! Damage.
All you do, your special thing is disintegrating people. You come out of the shadows and you're like 9th level disintegrate.
You're like all decrepit looking. You're like,
special beam cannon.
I put down my blades for magic fingers.
Oh man.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. At 13th level, you gain the ability to distract targets with your mage hand. As a bonus action on your turn, you can designate a creature within 5 feet of the spectral hand created by the spell. Doing so gives you advantage on attack rolls against that creature until the end of the turn. You can basically use your mage hand and then a bonus action as a help action. And give yourself advantage. You can tap someone on the shoulder with your mage hand, and then they won't know that the whatever's coming.
What is it?
You can get
like,
advantage.
how do you should have to describe what you're doing. My mage hand goes in there and slaps him on the bum.
It's always a tap on the shoulder, so they go, what?
Yeah, every time, 100% of the time, I tap him on the shoulder. What?
You do it like 6 times in a fight, and he's just like, I'm not falling for it this time.
Oh man.
And the coolest thematically thing you get at level 17. Immediately after a creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in its area effect, you can use your reaction to force the creature to make a saving throw with its spellcasting ability modifier. And if it fails against your DC, you negate the spell's effect against you and steal the knowledge of the spell if it is at least 1st level and of a level you can cast. For the next 8 hours, you know the spell and can cast it using your spell slots. The creature can't cast that spell until 8 hours have passed. So
pretty wicked.
That is really cool, but it seems like anything that's going to cast spells is probably going to make that save.
Yeah, okay. So I was about to say, like, wait a minute. This isn't as good as it sounds, because if you're 17th level, the guy's not going to be like, now I'm going to cast this little piddly level 2 spell at you. He's going to be like, meteor shower.
So here's the play with this. You ready?
Yeah.
You hide.
Uh-huh.
You have a party of casters. Your party of casters starts to do their spells. And the guy that you're going up against starts to counterspell. You pop out of nowhere, use this, and maybe your DM lets him have disadvantage because you popped out of nowhere on the save, and then he can't counterspell you for the rest of the fight.
That's pretty wicked. But
targets you or
who needs that whenever you got disintegrate fingers?
You couldn't do that anyways, right?
What?
You couldn't do what you just described.
Because
the spell you seal has to target you or include you in its area of effect.
Oh, dang it. It's an AoE counter spell, and you just happen to be there.
You could go stand in one of your own teammates' area of effect spells and steal it from them.
Hey, buddy, you're not casting that anymore.
Yeah.
Look at me. Now I'm the caster.
Now I'm the caster. That's my spell now,
I'm the caster now.
All right, so that's Arcane Trickster. I like it a lot. I think it's a cool subclass.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Assassin.
Hey, whoa. We gotta give him grades.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. What was the grading system last time? I honestly forgot.
A, B, C, D.
It was.
We were tier listing
up to S. Yeah,
we were tier listing. Okay. Do I need to hear all of these before I tier list them? I'm gonna call this.
You can do them as we go, and then you can adjust at the end.
Yeah.
I want to call this
This is
I'm
an
going to be
A tier.
conservative. I'm going to call this a B tier in the beginning.
This is an A tier.
I'm going to A tier it to start.
This in particular, this is what the reason I went with this on Eru is because he's going to multi-class into Paladin just far enough to get Divine Smite. And he's going to be able to Divine Smite and Sneak Attack. And when he crits, it will be glorious. And that is that is the end of why it's such a good subclass.
That plot was ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ruined that whole character for us. All right. You guys are giving it A. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start B, and I'll adjust depending on how good or bad the rest of these are. Assassin is one of these subclasses. That's the next one. Assassin's one of these things. Is like Assassin. This is the most vanilla rogue.
It is, but it's still really good.
Yep. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just the least interesting.
It can be interesting.
Fantasy.
Yeah, you got to be a fantasy assassin.
This is just a guy with a knife.
This is the guy I think of in like when you're playing Elder Scrolls and you're just like the guy crouch walking everywhere.
Yeah, you go.
You do a little hit from the back, yeah, and they go, oh, and just like fall over and die.
Combat in those games. Stop. We're not
going. A gaming podcast.
We're not going.
All right. So at third level, you get bonus proficiencies in Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit. Cool.
Yeah.
You also get Assassinate, which is you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a crit, an auto crit. Now,
how often do you get
the way that this is worded?
Yeah,
makes it seem like anytime you go before someone in combat, they're surprised. That is not the case.
No,
it's
I
worded
feel like
very weirdly.
I feel like it's worded to where it only works against creatures that haven't taken their first turn in combat, as in like the first turn of the entire combat.
Yeah, that is how it works.
Yeah.
So you get advantage on the first,
like if
on
you
your first turn a lot of the time. But the way it's worded, it's saying in addition, any hit you make against a creature that is surprised is a crit, makes it sound like creatures that you go before in combat are surprised, and that is not how it works.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that bit should be in a separate thing.
Yeah. You're right. It should be, yeah.
It should be like if the creature is surprised, it's a critical.
Yeah. If it's like a surprise condition, not just like, ooh, I'm surprised these guys are here, even though
I'm so surprised.
I'm so surprised these guys showed up.
But yeah, so that's a little weirdly worded, but that's a very cool thing. That's
the metagaming. I'm gonna try to abuse this kind of writing that is.
Yeah. I don't like the way it's written. But anyway, that's how it works. And it's a very, very cool thing, but it just happens so infrequently if you are not in a party with a bunch of other rogues.
How often are you actually getting a full surprise round on someone? I feel like it happens like in our campaigns once every few months.
Yeah.
If we had better coordination, I think we'd get it more.
Well, you kind of have to be evil, right?
No.
To attack someone without like talking to them first?
No. You know they're bad.
Yeah.
And you get the drop on them.
They're bad though.
Yes. You know they're sometimes you flat ass know they're bad. I don't think that's
like we see that big old bug thing, and you're like, that's been eating people.
That's been eating people. Yeah.
I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying it happens way more rarely if you're in a party. That's
if you're fighting a gelatinous,
and if you're a rogue that's an assassin, I'm feeling like you're crossing the line every now and again.
Yeah, you're not a great guy, anyways.
Hello, I'm an assassin. Let's have a chat first.
You only assassinate people for the good.
You walk out every time. Hey guys, how's it going? Are you guys nice? No? Oh crap.
Surprise!
Surprise! I had a knife waiting the whole time. Pow! You have to talk to the guy who gives you the job. You're like, so they go, hey man, I need you to assassinate this guy. And you're like, are you a good guy? Yeah, I'm having assassinated to save the world. And you're like, okay, good.
Gotcha. Let's do this.
That's the only way I'll assassinate people is if it's to save the world.
To save the world and nothing else. Whether it doesn't even matter how minuscule the saving of the world, I'll do it.
But anyway, that's a weird thing that it's a very cool thing that I feel like doesn't happen very often. I feel like it should happen more often. Anyway, 9th level, you can unfailingly create false identities for yourself. You must spend 7 days and 25 gold pieces to establish the history, profession, and affiliation of foreign identity. You get all the, like, you can get the clothing, the letters of introduction.
Indoctrination.
Yeah, indoctrination. Official looking certification, and establish yourself as a member of a trading house. Basically, you can, given a week and 25 gold pieces, you can walk into some place and likely fool them. Unless it's like, we know every member and you are not a member, what are you doing here? Then they're going to be like, oh, cool, you're new here,
like,
got it.
I feel like this infiltration expertise is something that can be done with magic at a lot lower level.
To a certain degree, but like, again, it's an illusion thing. So if they can see through illusions,
or you're a changeling.
Yeah, even then, though, like to get the clothing and everything done right.
If you're really good at a disguise kit, how many majors?
Even if you're a changeling, if you go in there and you don't have the know-how to
but
act
I feel
like the right,
I feel like this could be role played pretty easily. You know what I mean? If you're in a major city and you're trying to copy someone, you can be like, go into a clothing shop. Hey, you think you can make these clothes? They're not going to be like, oh, is this Lord Dinglebopper's clothes? They're going to say that. They're just going to be like, yeah, I can make these clothes for this much money, and you make them. And then for documents and stuff, you know, same thing. Anything. I feel like this is a wasted 9th level thing.
It is very weak, a 9th level thing, but
that being said,
takes out a lot of rolls. Right,
it does take out a lot of rolls.
Like, you got to roll to make sure your handwriting is good. You got to roll to make sure that the stamp on the thing looks nice, or whatever your DM says. This just says no. You do it. It works.
Yeah. Also, like, it's this was in the original player's handbook, so it being weak doesn't surprise me.
But so was Arcane Trickster. So
I guess
that has magic. It's just cooler.
Everything.
All right, so that one's it's on the weekend, but it can be cool. I tried to give David a chance to do this in our campaign 1, but like Michael talked him out of it, and he didn't stand up for himself.
Was he an assassin rogue?
Yeah. This is whenever you guys got caught in the prison in the Underdark, and he didn't get caught.
I think I might not have been there that week.
No, you were there. It was the prison where you couldn't. All the cells were magically.
Oh yeah. The BS magic prison. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they were set up by the school. Anyway, I was like, well, this is the perfect. You're never going to get a better time to use this, David. And then he's like, I got a thing, and Michael's like, you can't do that. And I was like, he could, and he was like, I won't do it. I was like, okay, figure out another way out. He could have just walked in and like taken.
I know you listen to this podcast, Michael. You totally screwed him right there.
That was his moment.
Okay.
At 13th level, you get Imposter. You gain the ability to unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior. You must use at least 3 hours studying these 3 components. Basically, you have advantage on deception check to avoid.
How do you listen to their speech for 3 hours if you don't know them?
I think that's weak. Well, I mean, if it's a public figure, you can just go listen to them talk, right?
I suppose you could go to
or you are an assassin, you can just hide and wait to listen to them.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that it's not like you can be like, I really need to impersonate this guy. Better look up his YouTube channel. Better listen to his podcast for a while.
I mean, you can if it's a campaign where you're in cities and there are social functions that you can go to.
Wax cylinder.
Yeah, exactly. There's wax cylinder it up. I feel like this is weaker than even the level 9 thing, because all it does is essentially give you advantage on your.
It's kind of the same thing too. It's not like a ton different.
It's more
you establish an identity I guess
you are impersonating someone other than just being like, I'm a member of this thing. Here's all my paperwork.
I mean, these two combined, you are 100% that person, right?
Yep. But even then, again, it's just advantage on deception checks. It's it doesn't say this works. It just says you get better at it.
I would think if you're spending a full multiple days, building an entire profile, knowing this guy's life inside and out, getting his clothes, getting all his certificates forged and everything, and you show up and you have a disguise kit, which you definitely are proficient in if you're playing this class, and you make yourself look like this guy and you can mimic his voice, and you go somewhere where they don't know him directly, you absolutely got this in the bag. You could walk in and be like, I'm declaring war on the Wang Janglers, and they'd be like, are you sure, sir? And you'd be like, absolutely.
Now get a move on.
Yeah, I mean, if it depends on the situation in your DM, but yeah, if you walk into some place where they don't actually know this person, then I would say that the DC for that deception,
they just know
check is a lot
they
lower.
know you're the higher up. You're so high up the chain that you usually don't make an appearance, right? So you have to. You're like,
I feel like if
that
you could
works
do
really
that
well.
without impersonating a specific person, though, like if you're gonna
that's what I'm saying. You are
impersonate a specific person. I feel like you're doing it to talk to someone specific and not the grunts, right? You could just be like, I'm a captain. I'm not the captain.
I think you're
I'm a captain.
I'm a captain. I think yeah, you're thinking too broad, dude. You got to get the town guard to like attack your enemies for you.
Sure. Anyway, at level 17, you get Death Strike. You become a master of instant death. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised,
here we go again.
It must make a con save, and on a failed save, double the damage of your auto crit.
It should just be like they die.
You are doing unastronomical.
It shouldn't even be a number. It should be like if they fail this save,
they take half.
You kill them. You kill them 100% outright.
Well, that would be dumb.
I sneak up on the big bad.
You forgot about power of death,
sneak
dude.
up on him, and then
I've had that. I've seen that happen, dude, with the spell, like way back. Big boss.
I mean, I guess if it's big bad, you could just legendary resist and be like, no, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
But then it does nothing.
What big boss? And how are you going to surprise this guy anyway? Ostensibly, he's like the boss you've been going to fight for your entire campaign. You're level 17 plus going to fight this guy. It's not like he's going to be sitting in a room going, don't even see him coming.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that you're going to sneak up on is likely going to be killed by this. Yeah. But it's just giving your DM a way out. If it's like a super important character, like, oh, they got 1 hit point left.
Give him a second to be like, exposition dump.
Exactly. But don't kill me yet. I've got information for you.
I have to tell you something quick before I die.
I needed to monologue my evil plan.
Except you wouldn't get that chance. You have 1 hit point left. The rogue's like, I got a second attack.
My offhand is ready to play.
You think I'm stabbing this guy in the back, not ready for a
boatload of damage.
It's the stipulation of the surprised thing again.
Yeah. Which makes it very difficult to do.
You would have to. Cool if you pull it off. I think like if you're playing this class, you need to work with your DM in like, is there a way for me to get the surprised round a little more often? You know what I mean? Can I like sneak around in ways? Or
I mean, I would say you definitely can, but if your party just runs up there, then they're no longer surprised.
They can be surprised by you though, right?
Nope. Surprise is a condition. And if
I think that
if they are in combat, they cannot be surprised. They're already fighting.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. I've played a lot of video games where you can fight and be third-partied, and it is definitely surprising when you're having a gunfight or you're having a fight with someone, and then out of nowhere, because you don't see them, you get shot in the back, and you're like, Jesus Christ, they're behind us too! You run away. So you can totally work it in. You can work it in.
The surprised condition does not mean, ooh, I'm surprised you guys are here, like we said earlier.
I know,
but surprise condition is different than the word surprise.
I think that like I would allow a change in which if your party goes in and then you come around the back flank and manage to get all the way up to someone without them noticing you, you can get a surprise attack on one guy.
Well, if that's how you would rule it, it's not how I would rule it, because surprised means that you are not anticipating any attacks. You are not in any kind of defensive position.
I can get
You're
surprised.
Just sitting relaxed, and all of a sudden, oh, you're dead. It's not like, I'm in the middle of a fight and I'm like tensed up with like all my muscles are flexed.
You might even be more surprised.
Oh, jeez.
If you're in a fight and you're focused 100% on the guy in front of you and a knife goes into your back, you're going to be pretty fucking surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
you're going to be like,
yes,
God.
By the definition of the word, but not the definition of the condition.
You know what? I don't like this condition. I'm changing it right here.
Okay. Well, if you're DMing, you can absolutely.
I'm gonna send J-Craw a tweet and be like, "You guys fucked this up. Change this in the next version."
So anyway, what do you get? What's your grade for assassin?
It is
solid C, right in the middle.
No,
I think it's a B. I think it's a B. It depends on your DM and whether you get to use your imposter and infiltration experience.
D tier based on the real rules. B tier if the surprise gets altered in the way that I said.
If the surprise gets altered in the way you said, it's an S tier.
Yeah, if every time I get to be like, I'm gonna hide as a bonus action, you hide, and then you throw a knife and hit him in the back, and it's a surprise. Yeah,
and it's an auto crit.
You can only do that once per fight.
It's still like A.5 tier.
A.5.
You get a sneak attack auto crit.
That does.
Once per,
at level 17, you're doing like 250 damage in a turn or something.
Yeah.
You're rolling. What are you rolling? Because you already get the crit, and then you double that, right? So you're rolling what, like 40 D10?
Yeah. You would double the dice, and then you would double the whole thing. They would essentially be vulnerable to your damage type.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's Assassin. I'm putting it. Tier. I'm putting it at D tier.
Okay.
D.
Next up is Inquisitive.
This is one I actually don't know much about.
I think this one was in Tasha's.
That's probably why I don't know a lot about it.
At third level, you get Ear for Deceit. You develop a talent for picking out lies. Whenever you make an insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, treat a roll of 7 or lower as if it was an 8.
Ooh.
So that's pretty cool. Really, I mean, RP wise, it's very cool. You also at level 3 can use a bonus action to make a perception check to spot a hidden creature or object to make a investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. So you can do that as a bonus action as opposed to an action. Not that big of a deal, I don't think. There's not a lot of times you're going to be doing that in combat.
Situational though would be really useful.
A hidden creature or object. This is I think better than you think, right? Like if you're investigating a room, you would get better, right?
You can use it as a bonus action instead of an action.
Bonus action. Okay, sorry.
If you're in combat, you can use a bonus action to like see if there's you can hit this button on a door in the right way.
Yeah.
I don't like insight myself. I don't like the ruling of insight.
Yes,
I don't like the way insight works at all. So like anything to do with insight. I know, dude. I'm bringing it back. Insight is garbage. Insight
is fine. Insight is great if you use it right. Insight is a vibe check. That's what insight is.
Except that everyone who likes to use insight uses it for every situation. Every time they talk to anyone.
Well, that just means the DM just needs to be like, sure, you don't pick anything up.
I know.
It's hard to tell.
It feels bad when you're having to tell people no a whole bunch.
I think that's fine.
You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Like if every 2 minutes someone goes, I'm inciting him again, and you're like,
I'd be like, you can't. You incited once already. You're taking that the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That's the rest of the time.
I wouldn't say like every 2 seconds insight, but
if you're having
I'm talking to someone,
you get one roll of insight, not every time you ask a question, be like, what about that? What about that one?
What about that one? Am I feeling that one?
I'm really paying attention to that answer. I didn't care about the rest of the conversation, but fuck.
That one got me. I insight check at the beginning, but that one's really throwing me off. Insight's that one.
I like being able to be like, what's like, because DM or players, they don't always role play the character as they are actually acting, right? So I like the insight check. What kind of vibe is this guy putting off?
They should just.
And he can tell me, well, he's looking a little shifty or a little nervous if you roll high enough, right?
If it was a vibe check, they need to just change it to vibe check. That'd be better.
And we gotta get away from like being like he's telling the truth. You just need to be like he seems pretty upfront.
Yeah, that's how I
just the language difference. Like there's a lot of times where it's just like he's lying. And I'm like, okay.
Well, now I know.
Instead of he's lying, I want like he is shifting
to be more vague. Yeah, the
answers.
This is a language thing. I think Joe's right. It needs to be very vague. It needs to be like he seems kind of shifty, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's lying to you, kind of thing.
Unless it is supposed to be so obvious that you don't actually need an insight check, right? but the player maybe didn't pick up on what the DM was doing. So you roll an insight check and like, yes, you can tell this guy is lying through his teeth. Anyway, enough about insight checks. You can treat it at anything lower than a 7 as an 8. Also at 3rd level, you gain the ability to decipher an opponent's tactics. This is very cool. And develop a counter to them. As a bonus action, you can make an insight check against a creature that isn't incapacitated, contested by their deception check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but still not if you have disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
This benefit lasts for 1 minute, or until you successfully use this feature against a different target. I think this is very cool.
It is very cool.
As a bonus action, you can like check on them, and if they aren't deceptive enough to like hide their sort of fighting style, then you get to use sneak attack on them. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I don't think it's overpowered. Cool. I think it's very cool flavor. I give this feature by itself an A.
This is an A tier feature right here.
Yeah, it's not overpowered. It's just very solid. I like it a lot. Moving on. At 9th level, you have advantage on any perception or investigation check if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. So that's cool. I like that.
That's all right.
This is like, I don't know if you guys watched the EXU Calamity.
No, I definitely. I didn't.
Yeah, this is what Travis was playing, and it was very cool. He basically played it like a detective, and it was very cool. At 13th level, your senses are almost impossible to foil. As an action, you sense the presence of illusions, shape changers not in their original form, and other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't blinded or deafened. You sense that an effect is attempting to trick you, but you gain no insight into what is hidden or into its true nature. I like this one a lot, too. You're just walking around and you're like, something feels funny here, but you aren't sure what it is.
I feel like that just bolts for a lot of problems, though. Because if someone brought that up in one of our campaigns, we'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna keep rolling until we find out what's going on. We'll be here for the nap."
Well, the way I would rule this is, I would tell the rogue, like, only the rogue knows this. Something's bugging you here. Go ahead and make an investigation or a perception check.
This is the vibe rogue.
If they roll well, then you'd be like, it's something on this person, or it's something over in this corner. If they don't roll well, you can't put your finger on it. You don't know what it is. You get one roll.
Yeah, that'd be good. But that's not what it says, so.
You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So that's, as an action, you can be like, what do I sense here? And then you would get that. So it's not just like a passive thing. So I like it. Again, I think it's very cool.
Okay. What's next?
17th level. You learn to exploit a creature's weaknesses by carefully studying its tactics and movements. While your insightful fighting feature applies to the target, your sneak attack damage against that creature increases by 3d6. I love that. I think that's so cool.
So this is just the Isaac class. It's what I'm learning
cool.
Right here.
Look at it. It's like, I use my thing to see, like, I use my feet. I love it when they say when you take a feature from earlier and make it and give it something that's better, attaches to it. I like it. Not just like this is better now, but like something that I don't know.
A new thing.
Like
yeah. It's just fluff text. This is one of those things. This is one of those things that I find that, like, the first time you use it, you're like, all right, so DM, I'm going to study his actions for a little while we're fighting. Then that'll allow me to gain this on the next one, right? And you go really into detail. It's like characters that have like a wreath ability that like makes them glow or whatever, right? And the first time you use it, it's awesome. And you're like, let me tell you about this. And it diminishes every time you use it to the point where, like, 10 fights in, 5 to 10 fights in, you're going, I'm going to study his movements. And like, you like start at it's a reverse pyramid. You start at the top and go down.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things where you're like, you go heavy into the description the first couple times, and then you're like, I'm doing the thing.
I'm doing that thing. You know that thing.
But that's fine. I just like the mechanic. I think it's a very cool mechanic.
Yeah.
I think I'm moving Assassin down to C tier, and this one is going to be like A minus.
A minus, B plus.
Yeah, right in there.
I think this is an A. I think this is an A. This is a good one. This is an interesting.
Seems like a really fun way to play a rogue. It's instead of being the bad guy, you're the investigator. That's quick on his feet.
I like it a lot.
All right,
Detective Jones.
I'm in.
Next up, Mastermind. I think this might be one of the weaker ones, but we'll have to remember.
The Mastermind.
At 3rd level, you gain proficiency with the Disguise Kit, the Forgery Kit, and 1 gaming set of your choice. You also learn 2 languages of your choice. Additionally, you can unerringly mimic the speech patterns and accent of a creature that you hear speak for at least 1 minute, enabling you to pass yourself off as a native speaker of a particular land.
This is a
language.
This is a good class for really good role players.
Yeah.
You can like change that accent on a whim at any time.
Yeah. It's definitely a fun thing. Like I want to do lots of
that. That seems really fun.
Yeah.
Fun doesn't necessarily mean good, though. So let's go on to the rest of these.
That also, I mean, if you're going to play it for that aspect of fun, your DM also has to be able to do those accents, right?
I suppose, yeah. Or you
let them... like, I do their accent. What's it sound like? I don't know. Okay, well, I guess I do their accents.
you let the player who's good at all the accents to say before the campaign starts. You're like, all right, here's the region.
In this region, yeah.
Tell me what the accents are. And the guy's like, oh, okay, great. You know, because the person who's into this is going to be like, you're going to let me pick the accents?
That's true. You could do it that way. That'd be a lot of work, though. Because I know that, like, a lot of times players would be like, we're going to go over here now. Like, oh, you bet. This is the Joe Schmoland, and they talk like this.
Just come up with, like, start challenging them. You give them all the basic ones. They have a British accent, and the guy's like, I'm nailing this British accent. And you're like, they got a Southern accent. And he's like, I got this one too, baby. And then you're like, they have a Filipino accent. And he's like, ay, okay. Yeah. Something that's not an English accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, they're all English accents, right? We're speaking English.
Sorry.
With an accent.
Not English dominant nation like Britain.
Not an English as a first language.
English as a first language.
Just like speaking some broken like.
They have this other accent. Like, that sounds like racist if I go too far.
They have.
We're not gonna get into politics.
Those
of it,
guys from what's that Gator show?
You can't be.
Cajun accent.
Real heavy like Creole accent. They be poaching our gators.
They be poaching our gators.
Dude, that guy's accent.
Come on, dude.
The guy in the crawfish YouTube guy. He's like, we're gonna do this crawfish boil, dude. Do an entire character like that. Oh my god!
I want to do that.
Entire region like that, so that your characters can then imitate it for a little while. Moving on. Also at 3rd level, you can use the help action as a bonus action. Additionally, when you use the help action to aid an ally in attacking a creature, the target of that attack can be within 30 feet of you rather than 5 feet of you, if the target can hear and see you. So that's kind of cool, but it's weird to have a rogue as a support class.
Yeah, but rogue support. Cool. That's fine. Yeah.
9th level, Insightful Manipulator. At 9th level, you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat. You can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. DM tells you if the creature is equal, superior, or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice: int score, wisdom score, charisma score, or class level, if any.
So
the DM's option, you might also realize you know a piece of the creature's history or one of its personality traits if it has any. So yeah, you can be like, is this guy going to be good at wisdom saves? Yeah. Better than me anyway?
Is this guy smarter than me? Is this guy wiser than me?
Is this guy smarter than me? Better not be smarter than me.
Better not be smarter than me. Is he more charismatic than me?
Let me get that M score. Oh, it's a 4? Sweet. Let me have him do this. Oh, it's saved. Great.
Oh, he rolled a nat 20. Great.
I feel like that's one of the weaker things. Like there's the battle master, I think, fighter subclass can do that a little better.
Yeah. Plus you have to spend a minute. So you're not doing this in combat.
With the other one too, the fighter.
I know, but you're not doing this like I'm going to seek out his weaknesses in combat. You're going to have to like find this guy first.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool that you can do, like, if you happen upon the big bad.
I feel like a lot of these rogue
his
classes,
int score is greater than yours, and he seems like an idiot. You're like, wait a minute.
I feel like a few of these rogues, the Inquisitive in this one, like would require a change in thinking of how like most campaigns are actually run to make them function correctly.
I feel like they work though.
They do work.
I don't feel like they don't change things too much. Although there might be some. Well, I don't even think there would be that many spoils, like spoiled surprises, really.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that depends on the person. Anyways, yeah, misdirection.
13th level, you can sometimes cause another creature to suffer an attack meant for you. When you are targeted by an attack with a creature within 5 feet of you, is granting you back up. When you are targeted by an attack while a creature within 5 feet of you is granting you cover against that attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack target the creature instead of you.
I feel like that's
horrible.
That is such a specific
that
situation.
Seriously takes this to like a D automatically. If that.
That's
terrible,
rough,
dude.
My guy.
Unless you're constantly going, I want to make sure that this guy is between me and him. But then on their turn, they're just going to go step around.
I'm going to take one step to the side and hit this guy so I don't have cover.
It's what you do. This is when you roll, what is it, halfling that can use people as cover?
Yeah, you have to be a small little guy.
You roll a halfling with this subclass, and there you go.
And you're just hiding in their square.
Yeah. Yeah, that feature feels real bad. I don't think that's particularly good.
Like a level 13 get bent.
Yeah. You've been waiting all these levels, and now you're level 13. It sucks. That's the most depressing thing about these high level ones is if they're not like great, it really drags them down. But like I've said in the past, most campaigns don't make it to 13th level, so most of the time you won't even have to worry about misdirection.
And then at 17th level, your thoughts can't be read by telepathy or other means unless you allow it. You can present false thoughts by succeeding on a deception check, contested by the mind reader's insight check.
This is
additionally, no matter what you say, magic that would determine if you are telling the truth indicates you are being truthful if you so choose. You can't be compelled to tell the truth by magic.
This is such a specific thing as well.
It is. It's like
in the right setting.
I get to use my thing.
In the right setting, this is the coolest shit ever. In 99% of situations, this is absolutely worthless.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay,
yeah, this is when your DM like goes through. You guys hit 17th level last week, so here we go. And he's reading through the stuff, and he's like, "Oh man!" And then like 3 or 4 sessions down the line, he's like, looks directly at the rogue, and he goes, "This guy's gonna cast Zone of Truth on you guys." And the rogue's like, "Yes."
At least once every other week, he's like, "This man tries to read your mind."
Yeah.
Just tossing this guy a bone because he's getting absolutely shafted for like half of his levels almost. 13th to 20th.
I think this is not a great subclass. I give this one a D.
Terrible.
This is E tier.
I'm giving this one, F.
F tier,
It's terrible.
You can use the help action as a bonus action.
I'm not giving it F tier because like it's got a couple of interesting like potential role playing aspect. But D or E I think it's garbage otherwise.
I think I think this class is bad.
This is bad. This is
thing that gives it the thing that brings it out of F for me is that help action that you can do within 30 feet as a bonus action. You can give one of your allies advantage every turn as a bonus action.
You always have to.
That's pretty good.
Describe how you're helping them.
I stick my tongue out at the guy. He looks at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're gonna be coming up with crap like that all the time.
Yep.
All right. Phantom Rogues.
That was not great. Phantom. This one also this one seems RP specific, but here we go. 3rd level, echoes of those who have died cling to you. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can choose one skill or tool proficiency that you lack and gain it, as a ghostly presence shares its knowledge with you. You lose this proficiency when you use this feature to choose a different proficiency that you lack. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
When you take a short rest or whatever, you'd be like, you know what? I'd really like to know how to.
That's not the only third level feature.
Better. You're just like, hey, John, I need to be a little smarter today. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Also at third level, as you nudge someone closer to the grave, you can channel the power of death to harm someone else as well. Immediately after you deal your sneak attack damage to a creature on your turn, you can target a second creature that you can see within 30 feet of the first creature, roll half the number of sneak attack dice for your level, round up, and the second creature takes necrotic damage equal to the roll's total as wails of the dead sound around them for a moment. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain them on a long rest.
I think that's all right.
Is very strong.
Yeah.
If you're having like,
I don't know that I'd say very strong, but it's good.
Well, here's why I think it's very strong. Let's say you have it doesn't have to be big bad, but a big bad, right?
Yeah.
And he has a couple minions. Everyone's having trouble hitting big bad, right? Because he's got a high AC. This guy just goes up, whacks his minion, and he can do half his sneak attack damage to the big guy.
Yeah, the higher level you are, the better this gets, obviously. That's what's nice about it. That actually scales forever.
I think that it's very strong for that reason. That if there is something that is difficult to hit, you can. If there's something nearby that's not so difficult to hit, you can cleave that big guy without having to hit him.
That's pretty good. I like this. Yeah, I like this. Good. This is good. Yeah.
9th level. When a life ends in your presence, you're able to snatch a token from the departing soul, a sliver of its life essence that takes physical form. As a reaction, when a creature you can see dies within 30 feet of you, you can open your free hand and cause a tiny trinket to appear there, a soul trinket. The DM determines the trinket's form or has you roll on the trinkets table to generate it.
Ooh, I like this a lot.
Yeah. You can have a maximum number of soul trinkets equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can't create one while at your maximum. You can use your soul trinkets in the following ways. While a soul trinket is on your person, you have advantage on death saves and con saves. For your vitality is enhanced by the life essence within the object. So one way you can use them is you have advantage on death saves and con saves.
And you could have another way, right? So
I think that it's a passive thing from the way it reads.
Okay, anyways, go ahead.
We'll see. When you deal sneak attack damage on your turn, you can destroy one of your soul trinkets that's on your person and then immediately use Wails from the Grave, the other thing. Without expending a use of that feature. So you get an extra, because you have it proficiency bonus number of times, but you can basically use these as a free token on it, which is pretty good. Third thing, as an action, you can destroy one of your soul trinkets no matter where it's located. When you do so, you can ask the spirit associated with the trinket one question. The spirit appears to you and answers in a language it knew in life. It's under no obligation to be truthful, and it answers as concisely as possible, eager to be free. The spirit knows only what it knew in life, as determined by the DM. The way this is going to get used is you're going to have one on you at all times, just to give you advantage on death saves and con saves. You're going to have two more that you're going to be able to burn either for important NPCs for information or for non-important NPCs just as a free use of Wails of the Grave.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I like this a lot.
Yeah,
this is cool. Really this is cool. This is a cool feature. I am enjoying this a lot. I might actually make one of these.
I love the aesthetic of this class too. It all sounds
really good. Yeah.
Cool.
So all right. You just got to use your reaction to get them. Like you have to go farm them. You get your rats in a bag.
Yeah, you got to get your rats in a bag.
You're just like walking up to people and be like, "Hey, what's up? Thanks."
Stab them, steal their soul.
Now, when you kill a rat and take its soul, and then you try to talk to it, what happens?
Well, it can only
this is my rat soul. The rat soul is just for my advantage on death saves. I gotta keep the rat soul in the back.
This is most definitely rats in a bag. You're like stealing little trinkets off these rats. You're like, I got this.
I think that this would have to be like the DM. I mean, and it shouldn't be hard to do. But yeah, the DM has to be like, this is not a significant enough threat for you to take its soul. But it also shouldn't be so hard to do it. You should always have at least one of these.
You run over to an anthill and step on it. Just grab it. Got him, baby.
Oh man. Yeah, you have a maximum number of these as your proficiency bonus. So yeah, you get like a lot.
Yeah.
You get like 5 or so towards the end. Anyway, that's pretty cool. At 13th level, you get Ghost Walk. You can phase partially into the realm of the dead, becoming like a ghost. As a bonus action, you assume a spectral form. While in this form, you have a flying speed of 10 feet. You can hover, and attack rolls have disadvantage on you. You can also move through creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, but you take 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside a creature or an object. If you stay in this form 10 minutes or until you can stay in it for 10 minutes or until you end it as a bonus action. To use this feature again, you must finish a long rest or destroy one of the soul trinkets as part of the bonus action for when you use the ghost walk ability.
Just another reason, another use for the tokens. Yeah, I enjoy this. This is good.
Yeah, this is a really fun class.
17th level. Your association with death has become so close that you gain the following benefits. When you use your Whales of the Grave, you can deal the necrotic damage to both the first and second creature.
Ooh.
Yikes. At the end of a long rest.
The first one gets
1.5 times.
Ooh.
Yeah. At the end of a long rest, a soul trinket appears in your hand if you don't already have any soul trinkets, as the spirits of the dead are drawn to you.
Okay. I'm in, dude. I'm in. Cool. I like this class. I'm putting this up there, dude. This is the first S tier rogue class for me.
You think this is S tier?
Not mechanically, just my own likage.
I think I'm gonna go with an A.
Mechanically, I'm calling it an A. Personally, cool. I'm calling it an S.
This one would be a ton of fun to play, and it seems like it'd be really pretty decent.
Yeah, I could totally make a super macabre character that would play this, right? Super like pale white hair.
Doesn't even have to be that. It doesn't have to be that. I have an idea.
I am Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. Allan Poe. Quoth the Raven.
I could do this.
You're like a mix, that rogue in a bar, and all you do is read poetry.
You like I read poetry
and stab people. My favorite thing to do.
Oh man!
All right, next subclass.
Next one, the worst one. We ready?
Yes.
Scout.
You are skilled in stealth and surviving.
Already don't like it.
Okay, so at 3rd level, you are difficult to pin down during a fight. You can move up to half your speed as a reaction when an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet of you. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. So right off the bat, you're thinking, okay,
that's not bad.
This could be great.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Survivalist, you also get at level 3. You gain proficiency in nature and survival skills if you don't already have it. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of these proficiencies. Okay. Nature and survival, not super regular things, but
I think survival is. That's fine.
The right campaign. I mean, if we played campaigns where we relied on that, I'm sure people do.
We've had sessions. We've had long stretches of a lot of survival, so that could be useful.
Sure, but as a rogue, you could already have that. You can already have expertise in either of those, or both if you want it. Anyway, at 9th level, you get superior mobility. At 9th level, your walking speed increases by 10 feet. If you have a climbing or swimming speed, this increase applies to that speed as well.
Ooh, terrible.
You get half of the mobile feet. All right.
That's balls.
That's not good.
That's super balls.
Level, Ambush Master, you excel at leading ambushes and acting first in a fight. You have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, the first creature you hit during the first round of combat becomes easier for you and others to strike. Attack rolls against that creature have advantage until the start of your next turn.
That's still balls.
That sounds terrible. It's not. Awful. That is nothing.
If it lasted like the whole fight or like a minute, that'd be one thing. But the fact that it only lasts until your next turn, that's balls.
Yeah. And advantage is one of the easiest. Well, the way we play, because we play with flanking rules, but advantage is one of the easiest things to get.
Yeah.
I feel like wasting your level 13 subclass benefit on advantage for one round, even if it's for your entire party, is still not.
It's not good. No.
Starting at 17th level, you get Sudden Strike. You can strike with deadly speed. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can make one additional attack as a bonus action. This attack can benefit from your sneak attack even if you have already used it this turn, but you can't use your sneak attack against the same target more than once in a turn.
This
is
not
bad.
garbage.
That's not bad if you can get sneak attack twice.
Yeah, I know, but this
if there are 2 targets within your range that you want to move around to, then you can sneak attack a couple things in one turn.
Yeah, but overall, this class is hot garbaggio.
Yes. It's not great.
Worthless.
This is New York City in the summer, this class.
At 17th level, you can sneak attack twice as long as there's 2 things that you can get to. So that makes it a D and not an F.
Nah, dude.
F.
Nah.
F.
The rest of it is so terrible. This is worse than Mastermind. This is E. This is E with Mastermind, at least.
This is balls.
This is awful. This is
This is terrible.
This is a cleric tier subclass.
This is literally just like they should just name this one Potato.
The Potato subclass.
So next up, we got a really good one.
This one's fun.
Soul Knife.
This one's fun, unless everything has resistance to psychic.
A lot to get through on this one. At 3rd level, you harbor a wellspring of psionic energy within yourself. This energy is represented by your psionic energy dice, which are each are a d6. You have a number of these dice equal to twice your proficiency bonus, and they fuel various psionic powers you have, which are detailed below. Some of your powers expend the psionic die they use, as specified in a blah, 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 blah. Sometimes they use it. As a bonus action, you can regain 1 expended psionic die, but you can't do that again until you finish a short or long rest. You regain all of your psionic die back on a long rest. So you have twice your proficiency bonus number of them. You can get 1 back as a bonus action every short rest, and you get all of them back on a long rest. The die become D8s at 5th level, D10s at 11th level, and D12s at 17th level.
That's really useful, just so you know. I like it a lot.
When your non-psionic training fails you, your psionic power can help. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll 1 psionic energy die and add the number rolled to the check, potentially turning a failure into success. You expend the die only if the roll succeeds. So you fail your lock picking check. I'm going to try psionicness. You roll. If it succeeds, you succeeded. If it fails, you don't even lose the psionic die. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Psychic Whispers. You can establish telepathic communication between yourself and others. As an action, choose 1 or more creatures. You can see up to a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, and then roll 1 psionic energy die. For a number of hours equal to the number rolled, the chosen creatures can speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them. To send or receive a message, no action required. You and the other creatures must be within 1 mile of each other. A creature can't use this telepathy if it can't speak any languages, and a creature can end the telepathic connection at any time, no action required. You and the creature don't need to speak a common language to understand each other, just as long as you each speak a language.
Mm-hmm.
The first time you use this power after each long rest, you don't expend a psionic energy die. All other times, you do. Again, so strong. You just
this
you've got so many psionic die, and it's just like you don't even need to use them.
Yeah, literally, dude. That's why you were like, "How many of those do you have?"
I know. When we were running that thing, you were doing this, and you were like, "I do another one," and I'm like,
"We did 3. We did like what 3 sessions, and I didn't run out."
Yeah, you had them the whole
and I wasn't like not holding back on them.
Yeah, I know. You were throwing them out constantly. This is a busted. I don't even need to finish this one. This one's S tier. I'm writing it down.
We're going to finish it, but yes, it's S tier easily. Also, at 3rd level, you can manifest your psionic power as shimmering blades of psychic energy. Whenever you take the attack action, you can manifest a psychic blade from your free hand and make the attack with that blade. This magic blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse and thrown properties. It has a normal range of 60 feet and no long range. So as long as you're within 60, you're fine. On a hit, it deals psychic damage equal to 1d6 plus your modifier. The blade vanishes immediately after it hits or misses the target, and it leaves no mark on its target if it deals damage. After you attack with the blade, you can make a melee or ranged attack with a second psychic blade as a bonus action on the same turn, provided your other hand is free to create it. the damage die of the bonus attack is 1d4 instead of 1d6. So your bonus attack is a regular dagger damage. Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, this is all
you
very good.
You get captured and take your weapons. Doesn't matter. I make it a psychic blade.
There's like nothing interesting to say about this one because it's so good.
It's like the ultimate assassin too. Nobody knows how this guy died.
Yep.
He just falls over.
He just fall over. 9th level. Your psychic blades are now an expression of your psi-suffused soul. That was a lot.
Hey, you made it through there. Flawlessly, I might add.
You these powers that use your psionic energy dice. Homing strikes. If you make an attack roll with your psychic blades and miss, you can roll 1 psionic energy die and add the number rolled to the attack roll. If this causes it to hit, then you expend the die. Great.
you don't expend it. What's up?
Psychic teleportation as a bonus action. You can expend an energy die and roll it and throw a blade at an unoccupied space that you can see up to a number of feet away equal to 10 times the number you rolled, and then teleport to that space and the blade vanishes. So you roll a 60 feet away is how far you throw the thing. You can just teleport 60 feet. If you roll a 12, you can teleport 120 feet.
I did that.
This class seems like overly strong compared to other things. It's like good.
I'll give you a little bit of background that I found out about this in a minute. At 13th level, you can weave a veil of psychic static to mask yourself. As an action, you can magically become invisible along with anything you're wearing or carrying for 1 hour or until you dismiss it with no action required. This invisibility ends immediately after you deal damage to a creature or you force them to make a saving throw. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you have some psionic energy die to expend.
You're gonna be invisible forever, dude. Nobody's seeing you do anything.
At 17th level, Rend Mind. You can sweep your psychic blades directly through a creature's mind. When you use your psychic blades to deal sneak attack damage to a creature, you can force the target to make a wisdom save against your dex DC, basically. If the save fails, the target is stunned for a minute. The stunned target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 3 psionic energy die to do it again. So, very good. Very, very good. This class, I believe, there was a class that they used in an Unearthed Arcana.
You mean a psionic?
That's the one. That was
I was going to say the same thing.
New class that they were doing for that, and they just rolled it into this rogue subclass instead.
So, okay. I played that Unearthed Arcana class, actually, in a campaign. This was one of those classes which actually was nothing like this. It doesn't have anything, I don't think, other than the word psionic and like some of the blade stuff, it has nothing to do with the Unearthed Arcana. But the Unearthed Arcana version, which was its own class, was equally as fucking busted. And I read it and I thought, wow, that sounds real dumb. And I was like, hey, DM, can I play this? And I handed it to him. And Michael's brother, Scott.
Oh, this was that story?
Yeah. And he like read it. He either didn't read it or just did the most like skim the page. And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Here. All those words are English. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that class was dumb too. It was like you can force people to believe things that you put into their mind, and if they fail the check or if they succeed the check, they don't even know that you tried. So you could just stand there and be like, I tried to get them to do this. Oh, they saved? Okay, I tried to get them to do it again. Over and over and over again, because it was like
I'd be as a DM, I would seriously be like, it won't have any effect for the next 24 hours after the first
you just tweak it.
As a DM, I'd be like, rocks fall, everybody dies.
Because there was a situation. I'll do a little bit of story time right here. There was a situation where he had like all the leaders of this country come out to meet us. It was like they were setting up a TED talk for 15 people for us to watch, right? Okay. And he's like, this is the king. This is the king's advisor. This is the king's general. And they all came out and like all their servants came up and set up a table and they all like sat down at the table and they were going to talk to us. This was in the middle of a field.
All right.
And I go, and they like give us their spiel about like, these are my most trusted advisors, blah, blah, blah. And I go, okay, Scott, I want the general that's sitting next to him to punch the king in the face. And he goes, what? I was like, yeah, that's what I want him to punch him in the face. That's what I want him to. You can do that? Yeah. He succeeds. And I go, okay, I want to get the guy on the other side to punch him in the face. And he goes, he doesn't know you tried. And I was like, nope. That sounds really OP. You did read the class before I made it, right? He's like, okay. And he rolled, he misses, and like the dude's most trusted advisor just reaches across the table and whoop-bam, just waylays him. And I'm like, there we go. Baby.
You're like, I'm actually evil. Fuck this campaign.
And you could do stuff like, you could make a staircase of clouds that goes 100 feet in the air, like a spiral staircase, and everything was trivial. That character was dumb. But this is equally as dumb, just in a different way.
Yeah, this is, I mean, from the stuff that I read about, this is sort of the compromise they made, was to make that a subclass of rogue and give it these, like,
I think there was, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a psionic class in previous editions of D&D.
Think you are correct,
but maybe I'm wrong.
But anyways, S tier.
Swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler.
At third level, good.
You get fancy footwork. You learn how to land a strike and then get away. During your turn, if you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn. So that's pretty cool. It's like half the mobile feat. The better half.
The better half of the mobile feat. Yep, that's good.
The reason why you take mobile.
Rackish.
That's another discussion, but mobile's great. Anyway, they're also at third level. You get rackish audacity. Your confidence propels you into battle. You can give yourself a bonus to your initiative rolls equal to your charisma modifier. You also gain an additional way to use your sneak attack. You don't need advantage on the attack roll to use your sneak attack against a creature if you're within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of it, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll.
5 feet of you, not it.
Yes. As long as you're within 5 feet of it, no other creatures are within 5 feet of you. So if you're one-on-one with a guy,
or if you're one-on-one but they're also flanked, that's good too.
Yeah, but if you get sneak attack anyway, if one of your allies is within 5 feet of it.
It could also be diagonally, right?
Yeah, if you have an ally within 5 feet of the thing you're hitting and you don't have disadvantage, you get sneak attack.
Yeah.
So this just says if you're one-on-one, you also get sneak attack, which is fine. That's great.
It's good.
At level 9th, you get panache.
Oh, panache.
Your charm becomes extraordinarily beguiling. As an action, you can make a persuasion check contested by a creature's insight check. The creature must be able to hear you, and the two of you must share a language. If you succeed on the check and the creature is hostile towards you, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you, and can't make opportunity attacks against targets other than you. This effect lasts for a minute until one of your companions attacks the target or affects it with a spell, or until you and the target are more than 60 feet apart. If you succeed on the check and the creature isn't hostile towards you, it is charmed by you for a minute. While charmed, it regards you as a friendly acquaintance. This effect ends immediately if you or your companions do anything harmful to it.
You know what? I know, like we're gonna go on and read the rest of it. I think the Swashbuckler is fantastic. I think it's really fun and really interesting. And the person who wrote this was definitely French. Or they were a big Three Musketeers fan, one of the two.
So that particular panache thing, it's fine. It's fine. I feel like it's just a taunt, which there are other classes that get that as well. Or the charm. I really have a problem with charm as a condition.
Well, that's a topic for another episode.
It is. I'll stop there. At 13th level, you get Elegant Maneuver. You can use a bonus action on your turn to gain advantage on the next acrobatics or athletics check you make during the same turn. So you can give yourself a bonus action, give yourself advantage on athletics and then try to grapple something.
Yep.
That might be cool, but otherwise feels kind of weak.
I actually don't mind this one. This is fine to me. Even though this is similar to the one that we read earlier, I find this one a little better because acrobatics and athletics checks come up more often than a lot of other checks.
True.
Rolling through someone's square, that's acrobatics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's the way we do it. I don't remember what the actual rules are. Anyway.
I don't either.
Beginning at 17th level, your mastery of the blade lets you turn failure into success in combat. If you miss with an attack roll, you can roll it again with advantage. Once you do so, you can't use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. That feels pretty weak for level 17. But it is what it is. I don't think this subclass is particularly good. I think it's okay.
I think it's fun.
I think it's
a fun class.
I'm not the biggest fan. I like the whole you get your sneak attack 1-on-1, but at the same time, I'm a rogue. I don't want to be 1-on-1.
But you're not necessarily 1-on-1 constantly. It's like a guerrilla tactics kind of thing. You're going in, hitting the guy, and running away.
Yeah.
And you're getting sneak attack every time, regardless if there's anyone around. So it gives you more ability to get around the field and do more sneak attacks to maybe background guys like ranged people like archers that are in a fight or something like that, or a caster who's off in the back or whatever. You could get around, hit this guy with your sneak attack, get out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Whereas it's a fine subclass.
It's just totally fine subclass.
It's not spectacular for me. It's
not spectacular. I'm going to call it a B because I just enjoy this one personally.
I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a D.
All right. On to the last one. The one that many people just think of as rogue.
Yeah.
The thief subclass.
The most basic. Look at the entire thing. I don't even have to scroll to read it. It is just all fits right here.
At third level, you get fast hands. You can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a sleight of hand check, use your thieves tools to disarm a trap, or open a lock, or take the use an object action. I think that's very cool.
That is pretty cool.
Because that's your as your cunning action, you already can hide, dash, or disengage. Now you can also sleight of hand or thieves tools to disarm a trap if you're in the middle of combat, but you got to get through something.
Yep.
Open a lock, or use an object, which great. I like it a lot. Also at third level, you get second story work. You gain the ability to climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movement. In addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dexterity modifier.
I know that this was something similar to this was in one of the other subclasses. I don't mind it as much on this one because you get it at third level as in addition to something else instead of a higher level thing where I think the other one, it was like 13th level or something where it's like you get an extra 10 feet of climb and swim, and it's like okay. But this is low enough. Yeah, thanks, great, wow. But this is third level, so it's like okay, it's just a nice little bonus to have.
Yeah, and you can climb. It's so cool. Basically, I mean, it doesn't say you have a climbing speed, but essentially you have a climbing speed. It's very cool.
Yeah,
just be at the back so you don't even need it.
There you go.
9th level, Supreme Sneak. You have advantage on stealth checks if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. Seems pretty good, but you can also just get that with a Cloak of Elvenkind. But if your DM is stingy with magic items, this is a nice way to get it.
Like one we know.
Hey, I actually got one. I was amazed. I was like, I get a magic item? At 13th level, you get use magic device. You have learned enough about the workings of magic that you can improvise to the use of items even when they are not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements on the use of magic items.
That's pretty good. Even though by 13th level, there's
not a lot of level requirements by 13th level. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like class and race, sure. I don't feel like that's that important though, because most of the time, if there's a class restriction, it's because it boosts a specific part of that class, and you aren't going to have that part as a rogue. So, okay,
I suppose, yeah.
But you could walk around with a Holy Avenger if you really wanted to.
Holy Avenger rogue, dude.
But it's fine. I feel like it's lackluster for 13th level, but sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. At 17th level, you get Thief's Reflexes. When you reach 17th level, you have become adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take 2 turns during the first round of any combat. You take your first turn at your normal initiative and your second turn at your initiative -10. You can't use this feature when you are surprised. That
That's pretty.
Seems super cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's flavored just as
round.
well as the other thing that gives you like 2 sneak attacks, but it's on 2 different things. But it's flavored better because you're a thief and like, oh, I'm good at it. I'm good at being quick every now and then.
Every now and then. I'm good at being quick, but only sometimes. Other times I'm kind of slow.
I got a quick burst, but it really takes it out of me.
Yeah. You're a cheetah. You're a cheetah. Yeah, you're running real fast, but not for very long.
very dangerous over short distances.
I'm gonna call this a C tier.
I love this one. I think this is A tier for me.
I don't think it's A tier. Not even close. But we're all different,
give
baby.
This one a D.
Actually, I'll give it a B plus. B plus.
Okay. Looking back on all these classes we've gone on, the only one I'm gonna adjust is Phantom down to A, and that's because Soul Knife's just too damn good.
Yeah, Soul Knife is clearly the.
It's so much better than everything else that nothing else can be an S. It is the wish of rogues.
Yeah, Soul Knife is real good. I almost picked Soul Knife for Eru, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be the guy that solves every problem.
That solves they can't solve every problem.
I mean,
you're an emotionally distant guy, right? You're not solving any role-playing problems.
Yeah, okay. But you know what I mean. I don't want to be the guy that's like, I can fix that. With this subclass feature I have. I need to be invisible? I got it. Oh, we need to talk telepathically? That's me.
That's me. I got that too.
Am I going to fail this? No, I'm not.
Yeah. That sounds perfect. That sounds amazing.
So yeah, read back the your that was the last one. So read back your
Oh yes, let me read you back my tier list.
Okay, Arcane Trickster, what'd you give it?
B.
I gave that one an A because it's.
I gave that one an A.
Assassin.
All right. D.
Assassin. I'm gonna. I think I gave it a D, but I'm gonna give Assassin an F.
I wrote it down.
I don't remember what I gave it, but I'm giving it a C.
Inquisitive.
I still think it still has the potential to one-shot things, and that's exciting. Inquisitive, I really like the style of this one. I give this one a B plus.
I also really like the style of it. I gave it an A.
I'm giving Inquisitive an S.
Ooh.
I really, really like the idea of being like super detective.
Did you watch Calamity?
No, I haven't watched it.
You gotta go watch Calamity.
Mastermind was next.
Mastermind. That was the. Hold on.
That one was god awful. I gave that
was not great.
But that can be an F.
That is an E.
That was clearly the worst, besides Scout.
I don't think I gave any of them an F, but this one may deserve it.
It's pretty bad. This one's
D minus.
Pretty bad.
I don't want to give anyone an F. I don't feel like.
What about an E? You can get an E.
What? E is below F.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, it's not.
A, B, C, D, E, F. Why is there an E? Why? Okay. Anyway,
on a tier list, it goes S, A, B, C, D, E, F.
I didn't know about the E. I never heard about that one.
Anyway, between a D and an F. Well, there's not normally an S.
I know it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm giving it a D minus.
Okay, that's an E. I'm going to call that A tier. The Phantom. I
do like the RP style of this one. I think it could be very cool. I'm
on
gonna give
RP sense, I'm giving it an S.
RP wise, S. Like mechanics wise, I know we didn't do this for all of them. Mechanics wise, I'm giving it an A. I think it's very good even on its own, aside from all the other things.
Yeah, overall, I'm gonna give it a B plus, and actually, I am gonna bump up Inquisitive to A. So I'll give Phantom a B plus and Inquisitive an A.
Overall, with Phantom, if I'm taking out the roleplay aspect, I'll give it a B.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Scout.
We're all decently close so far.
This one
that was E.
That was terrible. What's the
D minus F
at the bottom?
That's an F for me. I don't like Scout at all.
That's the F tier. Worse than Mastermind. I disliked Mastermind more as far as like if I was having to play it, I would rather play a Mastermind than a Scout. But just like for role play reasons.
I mean, the Mastermind at least has the bonus action help action at 30 feet. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Scout doesn't feel like
anything.
it gives
It doesn't
anything.
do anything. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's worthless. Get rid of this one or rework it, Wizards. I know we're about to update the whole system, so all these subclass rundowns won't mean anything. But
no, they're backwards compatible.
Oh, you're right. They're backwards compatible. My bad. So just for the ones that they rewrite are the ones we'll have to redo.
Yeah. Next up, Soul Knife. That's an S tier.
Yeah, clear S.
Tier.
That's the easiest S in this whole thing.
On both role play aspects and
yeah, it's amazing. It's cool. Incredible, fantastic.
Swashbuckler.
I'm giving that an F. One. I do not like Swashbuckler.
This is going to be our biggest disparity.
It a D.
I gave it a B. I give it a B.
Really, the only thing I like about it is the sneak attack 1-on-1, but I don't.
I enjoy a lot.
I would rather if I'm going to play a rogue, I would rather not 1-on-1 guys. I'd rather be sneaky.
Yeah.
This feels more like this feels almost like a fighter class rather than a rogue class. Yeah. Anyway, Thief, the last one. I like it. I think it's cool. It's not like mechanically, it's not overpowered by any means, but I like it. It does some things very cool. I give it a B+. After looking through all the rest, B+.
I give it a C.
I'll give it middle, yeah, C.
C, middle of the road. This and Assassin, they're the brotherhood of real rogues. You know,
Assassin for me, man, it just has the one thing you get to attack. The level 17 thing is great, but like you have to get there, and
that's the thing. We
judge some of these. Do it one time. It's not like you're doing it.
We judge some of these kind of harshly on like 17th and 13th level skills, and like most of the time those don't matter. So really, most of these, if you exclude the 13th and 17th level, most of these actually kind of average out to around the same area, except for just a couple of. But
we just need to do campaigns where we get there.
Anyway, that's your rogue subclasses. Ta-da.
Rogue subclasses.
Bye.
We were productive. We did a thing.
We did do a thing. Next week we are going to cover the hexbound witch subclasses. So any listeners out there, if you want to look it up, check it out, maybe look ahead and see what we have to say. If not, you can just listen to us talk about it. You can listen to Isaac be not too happy about it, and you can listen to me be really excited and stoked about everything, and we can talk
Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to listen to?
That's more interesting.
Okay.
Disagreements are more interesting because disagreements bring up good discussion most of the time. But I mean, you know. Anyways,
rogues are great.
Rogues are great. Rogues are overall better than clerics.
Yeah.
I feel like you're comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, you can't compare the two.
Overall, I'm going to put rogue. Rogue's a B tier class.
B tier class.
B tier? Ooh, I'm giving if we're ranking the class, I'll give a cleric like a D tier, and I'm giving the rogue an A.
You think rogue's A?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to write this down for next time.
That involves a lot of research. That could be its whole own episode.
Okay, you know what? We'll do once we've done all the rundowns.
Yeah, let's just get a running tally of where we think they stand, and then we'll do an overall.
Yeah, we'll do an overall. Right now, real quick, top of the head, we just talked about it. Rogue's a B tier class. And we didn't say it on clerics. Clerics a D tier class.
I disagree with both of those assessments.
We'll
talk about it eventually.
That's fantastic. All right. Anyways, see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Get the fuck out of here, Craig.